Internet of Things, nanotechnology and healthcare, digital education and e-commerce development, the modern world stands on the threshold of large-scale changes in daily lives of people and the economy of entire regions. Even as we speak, the experts call these transformations as the fourth industrial revolution, inscribing them in consistent history of previous technological explosions. In a special program, Digital Kazakhstan, we tell about how they affect the internal processes in the Republic. And in today's release, we will talk about electronic commerce development. Over the past 20 years, online business has become an integral part of the modern economy. It attracts entrepreneurs by low cost and the coverage of a huge market, as well as the absence of time constraints, which allows to effect sales around the clock and thereby significantly increase sales and revenues. E-commerce provides the consumer an opportunity to buy goods with significant time savings on search and delivery. These and many other advantages of e-commerce have made it the most popular and dynamically developing financial sphere. Therefore, in 2012, the total world sales volume in the consumer segment of e-commerce only exceeded the mark of $1 trillion, and this figure continues to grow rapidly. E-commerce market in Kazakhstan in 2016 was at the level of $800 million. The number of payments on the internet is constantly growing, and this year, if you watch the same dynamics, this figure will reach $1.5 to $2 billion per year. Thus, to date, the share of internet commerce in Kazakhstan does not exceed 2% of total trade turnover, which, according to experts, at an average is about 25 trillion tenge per year. At the same time, the average annual growth rate of e-commerce market in the country is about 10%. When electronic commerce is growing, it is important to prepare the infrastructure. When there was a boom of parcels in Russia from electronic shops of other countries, the post was not ready. And today, one of the leaders of Post said that they are already preparing. This is a big respect to the fact that colleagues understand that infrastructure should provide parcels explosive growth. Creating infrastructure for online trade development has become one of the main topics of the MobiEvent 2017 International Conference on Mobile Services and Payments, which was held recently in Almaty. Over 1,000 delegates participated in the event: analysts, developers, bank representatives, and mobile operators, bloggers and service consumers from Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. Creators of Whoop Pay payment system Alexander Bondarenko and Lev Kripkich arrive in Almaty from Karaganda not for the first time in order to participate in the mobile conference. Here is a slide that shows our situation with mobile payments in principle. This year, they made a report on the topic Mobile Payment Market, Expectation and Reality. They know firsthand about questions problematics of the company director. Having launched their project 5 years ago, they face consumers' distrust, lack of making payments, culture through the internet, and imperfection of the banking sector. Nevertheless, thanks to dynamic growth of key sectors of Kazakhstan's economy, marked in recent years, the company has successfully been established in the domestic segment of e-commerce. Now people just moved away from the model to withdraw money from the ATM and switched the model to use them on the internet. Naturally, we observe a rapid growth now, especially when after the devaluation, everyone has hidden cards and money in pockets. Now we see a huge growth, and this growth exceeds 100%. One of the most resonant speeches of MobiEvent 2017 was a report on open payment instruments of Post joint stock company. The day before, they were presented at the Digital Technologies exhibition organized within the framework of the Republican meeting on digitalization issues with the participation of the Chief of State. E-commerce is very important because in general it is the only sector of the economy that is growing at a swift rate. This is the fastest growing sector of the economy not only in Kazakhstan but also in the world. And as a logistical operator of Kazakhstan, we understand that our role is very important here, that we need to give a foundation to enable people to trust e-commerce, to buy, to make them believe in delivery, terms, tariffs, and quality of delivery. Also, there are over 200 online stores in the Republic. About 70 logistics companies carry out goods delivery paid using one of the 40 possible mobile tools. At the same time, more than 16,000 parcels are sent to Kazakhstan every day, and according to the forecast of specialists, this figure will grow by almost 19 times by 2020. After the client enters access code, which is received by SMS, the cell will open where his mail is located. In order to meet the growing demand of the population for delivery and forwarding services, the country's largest postal operator has modernized and automated its branches and sorting centers. It launched 74 supermarket parcels, installed 134 automatic parcel terminals, and thereby significantly improved the efficiency of the company and essentially reduced the cost of logistics services.
Нету такой длинной очереди.
There is no long line. Each cell, each rack is numbered, and the client, having received information about which cell and which row his mail is located, just comes and receives the parcel. So this process is essentially simplified. According to the Statistics Committee of Kazakhstan, one of the factors preventing the purchase of online stores is slow speed of goods delivery and bureaucracy with its subsequent receipt. The buyers are sure that solving these problems will increase loyalty not only to the postal service's work, but also to the e-commerce sector as a whole. I always buy on the internet. I order parcels myself, and it is very convenient for me to take them from Post as in a supermarket. I receive SMS notifications that my parcel came with a track number. I come and take it. This large company on selling books and entertainment for home grew out of a tiny stand in Usk-Kamenogorsk. Today, the network is represented by more than 30 shops distributed throughout the Republic and 5 services specializing in product sales on the internet. In online shops, I usually buy books and clothes. I like this store because there are often discounts. At the same time, the goods on the company's website are often cheaper than on the shelves. So the book of the famous American writer and screenwriter William Goldman in the online store will cost 1,540 tenge, while in the retail network you will have to pay for it 1,210 tenge more. However, for some Kazakhstanis, even this is not a sufficient incentive for online shopping transition. Sellers complain. After all, in this issue, in addition to technical barriers, there are psychological barriers associated with negative experience. I buy on the internet very rarely based on considerations that there were cases in my family when we were deceived. Therefore, it is easier for me to come to the store, feel the goods, touch, look, and then buy. Despite a number of controversial issues, the number of purchases made by Kazakhstanis in local and foreign marketplaces is steadily growing. At the same time, the rating of buying preferences is as follows. A sociological survey conducted by the Committee on Statistics this spring showed that Kazakhstanis actively spend money on clothes and sports equipment. Almost half of respondents buy goods of this category. About 21% of respondents pay for telecommunication services via the internet, and 18% buy products online. Books and magazines are purchased by 16.5% of the Republic's population on the internet. A smaller percentage of respondents order pharmaceuticals with home delivery. Financial and insurance services are outsiders. Only 3.6% of respondents noted that they pay for these services through online transactions. Another niche of internet commerce which is rapidly gaining momentum is ticket sales for entertainment events. And if only 10% of respondents use this service in Kazakhstan as a whole, then in capital this figure is 3.5 times higher. The management of the largest service on ticket sales in Kazakhstan through the internet admits that in the distant 2012, it was not easy to win positions on the market. We were one of those who had the upper hand, and using our example, people really learned to buy on the internet, and it is very good. The average check is low enough. Therefore, just for the launching platform, probably it was an optimal way. That is, we do not sell refrigerators for several tens of thousands of tenge. We sell tickets, and accordingly, this is the right step to make the first purchase on the internet with minimal risks from the client's point of view, choosing a certain cinema show. For 5 years of painstaking work, the service has sold almost 2 million electronic tickets and has become one of the most successful domestic startups in e-commerce sector. About 90% of tickets for cultural events purchased in Kazakhstan online fall for its share. A number of foreign companies have already become interested in resource. Negotiations are underway on expansion and modernization. We serve almost all theaters in Almaty and Astana, and in the same way we have 1 or 2 theaters in regions, or philharmonic societies and circuses are also connected to the system. That is, it is our goal to cover government institutions even from a certain point of view. This is our social project, i.e. we go out into regions and offer our system, often free of charge. Recently in Kazneta, tempting offer appeared to buy a washing machine, an expensive smartphone, or a TV with a 40-inch diagonal only for 319 tenge, just as much as a monthly subscription to resource cost. Cynical users suspected the ad authors of fraud, but their assumptions were erroneous.
Проект Fruit.kz – это краудбайинговая площадка, где мы продаем...
Fruit.kz project is a crowd buying site where we sell high-demand goods for pennies, i.e. for $1. This is the concept. In the long term, we want to act as a platform where manufacturers can sell their goods cheaply and thereby not only promote their trial, a trial purchase, but also get some kind of advertising coverage. Because we have a large audience and we are growing very intensely every day.
Потому что аудитория у нас большая, и мы очень интенсивно растем каждый день.
The project of Kazakhstan startups turned out to be so successful that it has already spread among the republic's borders. By the end of autumn, it is planned to be launched in Russia. Active negotiations are being held with investors from the Philippines. There are plans to enter the Latin American market. 6 months ago in Kazakhstan, there was one more unique service related to electronic commerce sphere. It was the OK Auto mobile application through which you can check and pay a penalty for violation of traffic rules in a few seconds. Due to integration into the Unified Republican base of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the notification of the penalty comes to the offender's phone right after it reaches the base, so you can forget about the overdue receipts in Kazakhstan forever. In the future, this application will be a complete assistant for drivers. It will help and tell drivers when their driver licenses are expired. It will warn that insurance will end soon and give the chance to order a new one in one click. The courier will come to your home and bring new insurance. Also, it will show whether you are away from the country immediately in automatic mode. Even though the opportunities are not fully realized, the application has already become a hit. 140,000 people had downloaded it, despite the fact that service creators did not advertise it. The wide penetration of e-commerce into all spheres of Kazakhstani's life allowed many residents of the country to refuse outright the cash use. So Daria Mikhieva, a child psychologist from Almaty, for 2 years prefers to make the majority of purchases over the internet. This decision made her spending transparent and allowed to optimize the family budget. Now, even being offline, she does not change her habits and pays solely via card, getting maximum benefits from it. There is also a cool and profitable bonus. It's a cashback when my card receives interest money from purchases. In my opinion, this is another way of accumulating and saving funds. For example, when my friends and I go to the cinema or to the store, I collect cash from my girls, pay for all via card, and I get interest money for each purchase. In my opinion, it is very profitable.
вот пациенты. По-моему, это выгодно.
According to forecasts of market experts, such a dynamic development of internet commerce in the country will give to create 276,000 new workplaces by 2020. It will increase the country's GDP by 0.2% and provide Kazakhstan with a place in the top 30 countries with the most developed segment of e-commerce.